Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Isabel, and today we will be working on our thymus glands. So the thymus gland is here, where that little bump is that you can feel. It's also the space of our higher heart chakra, our sacred heart. But yeah, that gland in itself carries an energy, carries a certain spirit, at least according to attunement practitioners, and I do resonate with that. And they talk about, the different endocrine glands having different energies, having different spirits to them. This is part of a series, by the way, so if you haven't seen the other ones, I will link them down below. We already did 3 of them, and after this one, there's going to be 3 more to follow. For today, we're focusing on the thymus gland, as I said, and we're going to basically balance it out, energetically and cleanse it. So we're working energetically on the physical form, but then also on the etheric form. Because just like, when we're looking at our bodies, having like an etheric body, and so does every cell, every organ, every gland. So that's what we're addressing. But yeah, first let's look a little bit at the thymus gland. So yes, it's part of the endocrine system. It's also linked to our lymphatic system, right? So talking about purification, our lymph system, it's all about cleansing ourselves of the different waste materials, toxins, and whatnot. And then it's also linked to our immune system. So anything that would compromise your thymus gland would also compromise the immune system. Now, there's a lot more that's going into the immune system, but basically, when we're addressing the thymus gland, we're also addressing that, right? I'm actually gonna start off by giving you a little introduction here about that spirit of purification from one of those attunement practitioners, and he writes on the spirit by coming at it from that spirit. So the words are: "I am the spirit of purification. I protect the life and this temple," meaning the body temple, "from harm. I bring heaven and earth together as one. I give assurance to my world that all is well." And I'm going to read you another paragraph of this simply because I find it important. It's not going to be long, no worries. But it basically talks about our immune system and what goes into that. So we commonly and erroneously speak of fortifying and stimulating the immune system. The reality is that we cannot enhance our immunity without enhancing the overall health of the whole person in complete immunity to the various and sundry elements of disease. And further down he says, the atmosphere around a person plays at least an equal role, if not greater, in the protection of the body temple as do the various players of the immune alliance inside the body. It attracts both trouble or happiness, depending on the quality of its vibrancy. And that depends largely on what is going on in a person's mind and heart in the way of thought patterns and harbored feelings. So we see that our so-called immune system is comprised of a whole lot more than meets the eye, and each part of that whole has its own unique role to play, physically, mentally, emotionally, as well as spiritually. And I can attest to that from my own experience, because years ago, I always had like frequent colds, and during my 20s, I would always have, deficiencies like B12 or iron and whatnot, even though I supplemented at the time. And then once I started, working on deeper subjects and basically, like doing the inner work, I noticed that with time, that would just disappear. That all of a sudden I didn't get sick anymore. All of a sudden I didn't have deficiencies anymore. And now I haven't had a cold or any like sore throat, any symptoms in several years now. Don't have any deficiencies, even though I don't supplement. And that's just to show you, from my experience, how just working on mainly the emotional body and a bit of the mental body, that alone built an immune system that's pretty strong now. I mean, I'm not going to claim that there's no instance whatsoever that, I could get sick. if I have a lot of stress, for example, I might, get sick, but usually on a day-to-day basis, even if I'm around people that do have a cold or anything alike, it doesn't affect me. And I'm not even doing anything when it comes to supplementation or anything like that. So yeah, I find it important to just point that out, that it's all of it playing into each other, right? And we might address one body or start off by addressing one or two of them, and that ripples through to the other ones. And I mean, eventually, of course, then more consciously, we also address the other ones. Because ultimately, just like with the different glands, it's not one or the other, it's all of them, right? So we might start off with the emotional and the mental body or the physical body or whatever. And then at some point, we'll feel somewhat clear in one area, and then we venture out into another one or expand on another one. Whatever we feel called to do. But yeah, for today, we're focusing on the thymus gland. So we will get into that now. This is going to be like a psychic healing. So I'm working on things visually in this series, mostly at least. All you want to do is relax and preferably sit down, because again, we're going to take a few breaths together and then also get grounded, get centered, just to, basically anchor in the here and now to assist in this. When it comes to the breath, if it's somehow too long, too short, whatever, adjust it however feels right to you. Always do what's right for you, right? And yeah, let's get started. Close your eyes. All right, and we'll start off by taking 3 breaths together. And again, adjust as necessary, just aim for deep and slow. So just take a deep breath in. And out. And in. And out. And another one in. And out. And then just keep following your breath into your body. Feel into your body. Or whatever part of you is connected to something. Feel into your feet on the floor. Maybe your back against the chair. To your legs. Your belly. Just be really present in the body. And then ground down, ground deep into the earth. However way you want to do that. I usually ground from the base, but you might prefer to do it from your feet, whatever you so choose. Just ground into the center of the earth. Into inner energetic grid. Okay, and also get centered. So place your awareness in the center of your head. In that space of neutrality. And try to remain there for the duration of this. And at the same time, just hold the intention for healing, for optimal function, well-being. And we will start by doing an activation. So we will gently activate the thymus gland. A little more. Okay, it feels complete for now. I can always come back to this to take it deeper. And now we want to balance it out. Just to let you know, we're also working simultaneously on the higher heart chakra as well. So balancing that out as well. Okay. And we're also giving it a cleansing, really. So we want to purge it. We want to cleanse out anything that impairs the function, compromises it, any interferences. Anything that throws it off in some way. And again, cleansing the chakra as well. Center and back. Actually, still working on the chakra. Cleansing of that. And creating an opening as well. Not that that's ever closed, but just gently opening up a little more. And we also want to stabilize and integrate what we did. So we want to take a few more minutes to do that. Okay, so just take a breath on your own. And yeah, just so you know, like, I mean, those processes, they might continue. They usually do for however long necessary. But yeah, when you're ready, just open your eyes. Yeah, it's funny. I actually, I feel a little bit blurry right now. Yeah, so that's still sinking in for me as well, I guess. If you, as usual, feel called to work on this a little deeper, come back to this. Just like with anything, when we're addressing an area or a theme or whatever it is, it usually takes a little bit of consistency working with that. And there's always more things that we can do to, to further add in that, right? So in this case, I mean, when we're talking about stimulating the thymus gland, just tapping on it helps, right, to do that. So you can do that with just your hand flat, but you can also do that with your fist, gently, of course. Then, as I've said many times before, we can use our own sound just by having the intention, for healing and balance, and just sound that out, basically. hum it or tone it. We can speak to it. And then, you know, since we're talking about, you know, immunity and balance and all that, like anything that enhances that, you know, we can ask ourselves, okay, where am I maybe out of balance? Where is there maybe some course corrections I might want to make, some adjustments I might want to make. And oh God, yeah, I'm really still in this a little bit, I guess. And I don't know how to edit, so unfortunately you're gonna have to suffer through this. But yeah, really anything that enhances our immunity, working on the different bodies, like I already said, it's not one or the other, just like it's not one gland or the other. It's always all of them as one. So another thing that we might want to look at, you know, is not just purifying what already is, but also what we're taking in. So what we're consuming, basically. So watching our diet, and that can be physical diet. Because when we're looking at healing, like in any way, right, then given that the natural state is a wholesome state, then anything that causes disruptions or disorders, when we take that out, we automatically gravitate towards that wholesome state. So when we're talking about physical diet, taking out any foods, any disruptors in that of that kind, right? But then when we're talking about mental diet, for example, then watching what our input is and making conscious choices when it comes to that, like really not in the way of like being afraid or you know, being like hyper protective or anything, and not by demonizing anything. Also, this goes for foods as well, but just be aware of what that input is. So if you, for example, if you have a TV and use that, then be present when you actually watch, not just have that come at you in the background, and especially not when you're falling asleep. And I've noticed for myself, so for example, I haven't had a TV in years, simply because I lost interest in that, but I like reading. So with that, you know, I noticed a lot of fine tuning when it comes to what books I read now compared to what books I used to read. And a lot of what used to just go in is not coming in anymore. But then also content on YouTube, you know, I like YouTube. I like it for inspiration. I like it for learning. But I usually ask myself, is this going to enhance me in any way? And enhancing can also mean something that's just bringing me fun and joy, right? It doesn't have to be all about growth or expansion. But if it's not doing anything for me, I'm not going to touch it. It's as simple as that. And when it comes to physical diet, for example, it's also, it's not about, you know, perfect choices all the time. And getting it all right, but just using our discernment and just making choices that are in alignment with our being. And if we don't know how that looks like for us, we can simply ask for it. And I'm actually going to do another video just on that, because I'm a huge fan of just asking open questions, you know, and allowing answers to come to me. And it works like a charm every time. So every time I need an upgrade in some area, or feel like I want to, you know, just upgrade my choices or expand on something, I just ask, okay, how would that look like for me? You know, if I want to upgrade my food choices and I feel like it's the time and I'm ready to do that, I just ask, okay, what would be the optimal direction for me to take? And that answer that always comes in. It might take a day or two, it might not be the same day, but it always comes in. But yeah, again, more on that in another video. Maybe I'm going to do that right after this one. We'll see. But for now, that's bring it to an end here. Thank you for being here. I hope this was helpful, and I hope I will see you in the next one. That's going to be the pancreas, which is probably important for all of us as well, because most of us, at least for some time, right, have maybe not made the best choices for us in all those different areas, not have had the best diet in all those areas. So that can be one that is compromised for a lot of us. But yeah, for now, let's call it a day. And I'm sending you lots of love. Take care. Bye.